I've probably been quilting for almost 30 years now. I started when my son was born, my oldest. A lot of quilters do. They want to make a quilt for their baby when they're expecting. My grandmother quilted. She liked to do applique quilts. And those are quilts where you have like flowers or different designs or motifs on like a background fabric. And I saw those as I was growing up, mostly when I was probably like a teenager that I had seen her quilt. And I liked seeing the colors and everything. I think it was really her personal way of being creative and just being able to express herself. And she made every one of her children a quilt, and she made every one of her 17 grandchildren a quilt. And she even made some quilts for the great-grandchildren too. When you make a quilt, the first thing you have to decide is what pattern you're going to do. There's the pattern, there's the cutting out of the pieces, and that can be done by rotary cutter and ruler. Some people can cut them out by hand. Then there's piecing it together, and so that's sewing the different shapes together until they resemble a block. And then you have your quilt blocks, and you sew those together, and that creates a quilt top. Then you're going to layer that together with a batting and a backing fabric. And then you're going to baste your quilt. Some people use pins, some people use basting sprays. Some people actually use basting stitches, which are large stitches. Then you can either stitch your quilt by hand, you can quilt it on a regular sewing machine. And there's also long arm quilting, where a machine, either computerized or manual, will quilt the whole entire quilt. It'll go down to a row, and then you move the quilt up, and then you do another row until you've quilted the whole quilt. And then the final step is putting the binding on the quilt. So binding is that edge that goes all the way around the quilt. It acts kind of like a frame, but it also finishes the edge of the quilt. A lot of people like to put a label on the back of their quilt. So you would put your name and maybe the year or the date that you made the quilt, maybe who you made it for, if it was a special occasion, but just something to say, you know, I made this quilt, because you don't know how many generations it's going to be passed down to. What I'm most proud of are especially the Quilt of Valor quilt that I have hanging here in the shop. That one is going to be awarded to a veteran, probably at my next Quilt Guild quilt show. A quilt was chosen from all 50 states, and my quilt was the quilt that was chosen from Indiana. So this quilt is published in a book, so I'm pretty proud of that. My favorite quilt in the shop that I've ever made is in the classroom, and it is, there's a big giant flower that's in there. I quilted that. I appliqued it, and by machine actually instead of by hand. And then I free motion quilted all the background in it. I work alongside my husband here at the shop. We've been married for 30 years. When we decided to open up a quilt shop, it was great that he kind of took a break from the executive world and helped me start this business, and he gets all the fun jobs, really. He's the accountant, he does the website, he fixes the machines, and puts up with me, and I get to do all the fun stuff like all the creative stuff and plan the classes, and we've always been a good balance for each other. You know, he's good at what he does and I'm good at what I do, and combined we make a good team. It's very rewarding to, you know, to be a part of the community and to be able to give back through quilting. I can tell you that a lot of the people that come into the shop, this is like a second home for them, and it has been, especially this year. They come in and they visit with us, and it's great to be able to have a shop like this that can, you know, help them stay creative. Like I said, they're like family to us, and it's always fun to teach a quilter from the beginning and see their creativity blossom. And when they start taking off on their own and doing their own thing and becoming the quilter that they are, that's really great to see.